Welcome to a new Unreal Engine tutorial. In today's episode, we will learn how to use the enhanced input system. Let's get started. If we open the default project, it will already have the input mapping context pre-configured. In this input mapping context, we have actions bound to some keys. In this case, the actions are jump, move, and look. To create a new action, we can go directly to the content browser and define a new input action. For the example, we'll name it Input Action Example. If we go back to the input mapping context, we can add another mapping of this action. When adding a new mapping, its default will be set to none. We select the example action, and within this view, we can map its keys. For this exercise, we will use key 1. Within this space, we can configure the button and what is going to execute it. We will have a set of predefined actions. We recommend reading the Unreal documentation to find out which suits your needs. In this case, we will use down as the trigger, which means that when the button is lowered, the event will be executed. Another of the advantages that we have with the enhanced input system is that of being able to link a second button to the action. We will use the mouse as a second input option. In Actions, we will open the menu, and we will select the right button. Once this is defined, pressing the 1 key, or the right mouse button, will execute the example action. We will also set down as the event trigger for this action. Once the input action and the input mapping context are configured, we can go to any blueprint and make use of this action. For that, we are going to open the action window and we are going to look for Enhanced Action. Here we have all the action events. We will select Example that we have created previously, and it will show us all its possible actions. Depending on the type of trigger that we have configured, it is the number and the action that will be executed. We must make sure that the action and input that we are using is correct, if what we need is a press and not a tap, or if it is useful for us to execute a pressed once per frame or only the first time it is pressed. As an example, we will print a string for each of the actions. Once all the actions have been configured, we play the scene, press the 1 key, and the texts assigned to this action will be printed. In this case, we can see that pressing it executes started, trigger, and completed. But not only with the 1 key, but also with the right mouse click. From here we can analyze which one works best for us. For example, the ongoing on each of the frames that we are launching, or if we are only interested in the started event when we release the key. With this we have the basis of the enhanced input system and the basic use cases. Remember to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.